Okay, welcome back to another episode of Third and 23. I'm your host, Alex, here to bring you my college football playoff round one picks and predictions. I'm going to do one video per game. Now, I want to put this out there now so everybody knows. I'm going to do a video for each game of the college football playoff because we are in the playoffs, but that doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to bet on every single one of these games. And I'll let you know what games I'm actually going to bet on. And just to put it out there now, for the first round, the only game as the lines currently stand, the only game I'm betting in the first round is the Texas game, but we'll get to that when we get to that video. Anyways, if you're new to this channel, I do only ATS predictions on here. So we do nothing straight up on here. We're just doing spreads. So I went 58% ATS accuracy for the season. Goal has always been 60%. We just missed out on that. But then again, how many people out there doing 58? So anyways, we're going to start it off with Indiana visiting Notre Dame. Notre Dame, 7.5-point favorite in the Battle of Indiana. No disrespect to Purdue, or maybe all disrespect because you're the worst team in the P4. So when you look at Indiana, you talk about Curt Cignetti. Came over from James Madison. He's had a great first year for the Hoosiers, 11-1. He brought a bunch of his guys to transfer in from James Madison. He brought in some other transfers like Curtis Rourke came in from, I believe, Ohio at quarterback. And he's just absolutely just completely changed his entire program. Defensively, one of the top defenses in the country, number one run defense in the country, been a top pass defense in the country as well. Offensively, explosive. Passing yards per attempt, they are second nationally with Curtis Rourke and that group of receivers they have out there. And then running the ball, they have a pretty solid complementary running attack that helps balance out that passing offense. Now you took a look at Notre Dame, you look at Marcus Freeman, he's done a great job. 11-1. I predicted this team back in the preseason to go 12-0, so I just missed it on one game. Who could see Northern Illinois happening? Unbelievable. But give it up to Marcus Freeman being able to respond, right? Rebound from that loss in Northern Illinois is an embarrassment, and just rattle off a bunch of wins, some of these in absolute dominating fashion, just completely destroying some teams. Notre Dame's led by Riley Leonard at quarterback, but really he's led by the rushing attack with Riley Leonard's legs. You got Jeremiah Love in the backfield. You got Prince in the backfield. And this rushing attack has been an absolute machine, number 10 nationally in the country. And when you watch them play and you compare it to the other teams in the top 10, you will say to yourself, nah, they're better than 10th. And I believe it. They are better than 10th. And they also, Notre Dame, we're talking about Marcus Freeman, so you know they're going to have a good defense. They're a pretty strong front seven. They're number 3 in terms of pass defense, yards per attempt as well. So this is, all in all, a great defense, a great offense. So when you're looking at this game, in all these college football playoff games, you look at these teams, they're all going to rank pretty well statistically. So what can these teams kind of take advantage of, expose a team at, see if a team is legit at? Do you have a significant advantage at? So when we're looking at this game, first thing I want to look at is legitimacy. I look at Indiana, 11-1, number 1 ranked run defense in the country. But are they really the number 1 ranked run defense in the country? Double click into that real quick. Indiana plays 12 games. 10 of the teams they played this season ranked 94th or worse running the football. The 94th team is the Washington Huskies. You take them out, and the other 9 teams are in the hundreds. So Indiana's not playing anybody who can run the ball. So now you're really establishing that number 1 ranked run defense on the backs of some really bad running attacks. The 2 teams that could run the ball decently is Ohio State ranked 60th, and with the talent they have, they should be much better than that. So that's a little bit embarrassing on their part. But Ohio State ran for 115 yards in that game. They didn't really try to establish the run in the game. It was really Ohio State's defense kind of swamped Indiana's offense that game as Ohio State blew them out. And the other team is the Michigan Wolverines, who I believe ranked 71st running the football. Michigan didn't have a great game running the football in that one. But Michigan also, if that game was 5 minutes longer, Michigan would have pulled off the upset in that one because they completely dominated the second half. So when I look at this game, I see the 2 teams that could run the ball, one won by a blowout, one damn near pulled off a big upset, and the other 10 teams, they got whipped for the most part by Indiana, but none of those teams could establish a run. So that could be something to note for this game. Now you look at, okay, so you say, okay, Indiana's run defense, number 1 ranked, that doesn't look legit. But what about Notre Dame? Notre Dame's number 3 ranked pass defense, let's look into that. They played 2 service academies, and then in terms of yards per attempt, Northern Illinois ranks 125th, Stanford ranks 126th, Florida State ranks 129th. That's 5 teams. That's damn near half the schedule. Let's add one more team into that. Georgia Tech. You say Georgia Tech's a good team, good offense. Haynes King, Eric Singleton, all those guys. Well, Haynes King was actually out for the Notre Dame game, so they had to go with a backup quarterback who's more of a runner than a thrower. much more of a runner than a thrower. So they kind of got caught a break in that game. So that's half their games. If you look at the teams that Notre Dame could actually, if you look at the teams Notre Dame played that can actually pass the ball, Louisville statistically ranks the best at 28th. Tyler Shugg, said it many times, not the biggest fan of his game, but 260 yards, 6.4 yards per attempt. So they got some yardage. They hit some plays in that game, but weren't really consistent. And then you look at USC, 86. That 86 ranking is really off of the arm of Miller Moss. Remember, Jaden Mauava got inserted to the starting lineup, the second to last game of the season. So is Mauava against Notre Dame. So you got to take that 86 and kind of throw that away. Mauava went 360, 3 touchdowns, 7.3 yards per attempt in that game. Now he did have 2 picks, but USC did put up 35 points. So when I throw all that about you about Indiana, all that to you about Indiana, and I throw all of that to you about Notre Dame, there's 2 things for me that can be noted. Indiana's rush defense is definitely number one in the country. There's no way. And Notre Dame's pass defense is definitely not the third-ranked pass defense in the country. There's no way. So who's going to take advantage of what? Is Curtis Rourke and that group of receivers for Indiana to take advantage of this Notre Dame pass defense, this Notre Dame secondary that probably isn't as good as they're ranked? Or is this Notre Dame machine going to take advantage of an Indiana run defense that's definitely not as good as they're ranked? And for me, I'm going Notre Dame. Nobody's been able to stop this machine. I don't think anybody's going to stop this machine in this game either. I don't believe in Indiana's run defense. I believe in what Kurt Signetti has done, but I certainly don't believe in Indiana's defense. I don't think they're good enough to stop this Notre Dame running attack. I expect Notre Dame to be run early and often. In this game, they're probably going to dominate the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. For me, this is going to look a lot like the Ohio State game. Maybe not in terms of score, but in terms of the flow of the game. Now, as I said, in terms of game lines, I'm not laying 7.5. We can forget that. This is a game that I would recommend buying points. I will buy this, and I would consider doing this if this was down to 5.5. And I've looked already; you can get down to 5.5. I would recommend buying down to 5.5 and laying the points, laying the 5.5 with Notre Dame. But anyway, that's my picks and prediction for this video. We'll have the other 3 games over the course of the next couple of days. And if you like the content, please like, comment, subscribe, all of that. As you can see, my YouTube handle here in a few seconds. Take care.